I just got to get this off my chest. So this is just to Vince or Vance, whatever your name is, Johnson. This judgy in St. Charles County. I just want to speak to him after something like that, you know. Right on, G. Uh, for all your tough guy power in there, all your threats, all your well, I'm gonna get my way. Well, I say one more word in my courtroom and I'll hold you in contempt. You're don't say one more word in my courtroom. Or did I address you? Did I address you? All of the like insanely unprofessional, like judges don't need to resort to that to do their job, do they? No. Uh, for you to resort to this, okay, you can go home and for all the rest of the time of your life think, oh yeah, I'm a judge and oh, I get to do this and oh, these mofos better learn. And yeah, I can boss them around and I have the power and I will dictate this. And if they don't like it, I will throw their ass in jail. I absolutely will. And all of that, all of that. But see, the truth of the matter is that you're just an old, decrepit man. You have no actual physical power whatsoever to you. You can't handle a physical confrontation or a fight with men who can and are capable of it. That's clear to anybody who looks at your soggy fat ass, right? I mean, I shouldn't have to insult you. I take that back, Judge Johnson. I'm not a human being. But you got to understand what you're doing to a man when you say, I'm going to threaten you with life ruining prison for up to a year. And look, the prosecutor's being kind. He's offering you 120 days. You don't have an idea of what it is you're doing when you threaten somebody with that. You're just like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. Oh, just be quiet, you. We're not here to talk about anything other than what I want to talk about. You can't laugh any of your antics. I don't care if it's exculpatory evidence. And Judge Johnson, this is the last thing I said. This is the last thing on the set I said. And I didn't say this on the live stream, but remember this? Remember this? You asked, oh, is there anything lastly? I took the opportunity, every time I spoke was risking jail, by the way, to say, in this country, are American citizens allowed to challenge the jurisdiction of these American courts? And you said, have a nice day. And ended the hearing prematurely, obviously, abandoning the bench as they always do. Not giving me a chance to bring up any items on my agenda that would clearly expose that all charges should never have been filed, should immediately be dismissed. The arrests and all that should have been quashed. They weren't even legitimate in the first place. Like, this is nothing but collusion and corruption, all to protect the interest of one dog owner who happened to be good buddies with a cop. You think you're this tough guy? Like, see, I saw how you intimidated everybody else, how you do the typical judge stuff, and you just bully everybody else because everybody else is so afraid of you. They're so afraid of your power. Here you are dealing with people in jail, on the internet, in the middle of these hearings. Here's what Judge Johnson did today that I just had never seen before and found so shocking and appalling, and I'm sure every other American would too. He asked this guy, hey, this is common for judges to do. They try to, and this guy's in jail. He's in jail, right? He asked this guy how much money he has, if he can pay this $2,000 bond or it was a $2,500 bond. I can't remember. The guy said he only had like $500 or $800. Let me make sure I'm getting this right because, believe you me, proof is going to come out. Judge Johnson first offered this guy a bond of $2,000 and asked if the guy could pay it. The guy said he couldn't and that he had like $500 to $800. Judge Johnson changed the offer from a $2,000 bond to a $5,000 bond and then authorized 10%, meaning he found out how much the guy had on him and then figured out a way to make it so that he could extract as much of that as he could. on a female prisoner who was there in person. He actually said, oh, just for no reason, just arbitrarily decided, we're just going to waive the court fees on that one. He gave everybody else the court fees, but not this one, and no explanation why. And he's just, these judges live in this bubble. And it's because of the bailiffs. These bailiffs, and I'm talking to you too. You think, oh, don't want to be a cop on the street anymore. I just want to retire and get my pension. I'm just following the orders of the judge. Don't blame me. These judges don't have the balls they have to say what they're saying without your presence and your employment there. I know you're never going to quit or do anything because you're too deep involved. I realize that. But could you at least... And I said this to the bailiffs on the way out. Keep this in mind. On the way out, I passed 2 of the 5 bailiffs. They're all there to intimidate me and scare me, right? It doesn't work. I said, what exactly did I say? I said, I go, nice oath to that Constitution, gentlemen. Well done. Just low like that as I left, just went past them. Because what everybody could hear, and you can see it in everybody's faces, nobody's even, the prosecutor's side, normally they're smirking and smiling and laughing. Nobody's even doing that. How creepy is it when a judge is being so totalitarianism, so 1984, just Orwellian, just tyrannical doesn't do it justice. These are the type of people that if this world was warped to World War II times, this guy would 100% be a Nazi. 100% have no problem being a part of any state government where he gets to have the power level of a judge and just inflict whatever the agenda happens to be. He just has no problem doing it whatsoever. God. It's like living a life with a different species that happens to be a humanoid. Like, this behavior is so beyond decent human beings who would be horrified at having the power to ruin somebody's life for 120 days to a year in jail because a neighbor who owns a dog, whose dog was in their front yard having no business in there and breaking leash laws doing it, was shot. And they're saying, oh, it had a ball in its mouth. And so I'm so far beyond the incredulous stage or the surprise stage or anything. I'm just making this to just say to this one judge. And I'll just summarize it here. Otherwise, I'll end up doing more ranting. You're just some slob on a Saturday in a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt with a hole in it to me. Your little elevated, wooden, psychologically superior platform doesn't do anything for me. All of your integrated manipulations, psychological warfare against people to try to convince them that you're the power and they better obey, it doesn't work on me. You know how disgusting it is to hear you work these manipulations on people who it does work on? Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Oh, Merry Christmas, Your Honor. What you're giving people, you had a guy in prison for failure to pay child support. The man could not pay his child support, and he's in St. Charles County jail for it. But oh no, this country doesn't do debtors' prisons. That guy is so much more fucked than he even knows. If you're in prison because you can't pay a court-ordered child support, for sure you don't have the money because you're going to prison. Just Johnson guy, zero issues with it whatsoever. It's just a random Wednesday, Thursday to him. He's like, just 1 more hour till lunch. You're only powerful and able to get away with silencing me because we're in a courtroom and because you have paid mercenaries on your side. That is all. You would never have the guts to come into a courtroom where you don't have that power or where I also have armed security to protect my interests from someone who wants to, I don't know, shut me up by force and inflict their biased, corrupt agenda into the record. After reading the biased, corrupt record that Sandcork filed. Sandcork, who was just involuntarily recused by the presiding judge at nobody's request and no reason given. And you pretend like that never even happened. And that everything he wrote down was 100% fact. You did exactly what I wrote in motions and predicted that Sandcork would do, which is you have an agenda, you lie on the record, you then in future hearings refer back to the previous hearings, and those lies on the record as fact. So now you've checked your box. Yep, I stated all the record of everything that's happened. When those are lies, those things actually didn't happen. I'm sitting there going, what? There's no plea entered in this case. What are you talking about? Can you please tell me the plea that's entered in this case? Judge Johnson, you would not answer that question. You would not answer what plea is in the record. And it's because you know this not guilty plea is completely and totally bullshit. You read the not guilty plea is entered from somebody pretending to be a judge. You know how the first thing you say is, hey, I'm Judge Johnson and I'm from this court and we're going to conduct here in this hearing. That's our purpose here today. That guy didn't do that. And when I asked him why not, he said, we're not here to discuss that. We're just going to discuss your plea. And da, 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 da. And he made it clear by saying, oh, we could increase the bond. And here I am asking for that jail cell footage the whole time, and even though there's a Missouri Sunshine Law, they won't give it to me. They openly violate that, among many laws. I've got another judge who won't recuse himself against the law that says he has to. The 911 call, get this, guys. Murphy gave me another CD with a 911 call of the call that I made. I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing. I already have that. I've asked for what their side made. They're called to 911. That's what I asked for with Missouri Sunshine Law, and they're still in open violation of that right now. It's exculpatory. And I got Judge Johnson to say, I don't care. I said, oh, thanks. I just wanted you to hear that, to say that you don't care, that it's exculpatory evidence. Thank you. And I'm smiling and just, oh, go ahead and continue. Just go ahead. Just go do whatever you're going to do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Judge Johnson. Oh, yeah. Exculpatory evidence doesn't matter. If it proves someone's innocence, it doesn't matter. We're still going to force him to a jury trial and impose upon him. Continue to. Okay. Go ahead. I just wish these people knew the lack of distress and anxiety. Like the day before, the hours go by, you sleep. Hours go by, oh, now on the drive there. Oh, now the walk to the courthouse. Oh, now you're waiting. And oh, your name could be called any minute. Normally that causes people a lot of anxiety. It doesn't cause, I just wish they knew. I'm just bored and waiting. I forgot to mention this. Less than 5 minutes into this hearing, Judge Johnson formally said on the record that he was detaining me. I was detained in that courtroom and could not leave. He then informed me that they were starting a Ferretta hearing effective right now, and that I was not allowed time to prepare for it, but would be expected to be able to respond to all of this. I mean, how much worse do they have to get before something is even done or reported about it? We get a judge who's right next door who can't play Elvis music and dress like Elvis every Halloween. Oh no, he's in deep shit making international headlines. Johnson, again, wipes his ass, just like Sandcork, with the Bill of Rights, doesn't give a shit. And nothing happens. And he knows nothing's going to happen, and that's why this happens in the first place. And then I go to the state AG, there's no redress of grievance, there's no accountability, there's no equality under the law. Look, they're openly breaking Missouri Sunshine State law. And the state AG just gets pissed off and says, well, we're the party you're going to sue, so we're not going to talk about it. One day, people who do this type of behavior will be permanently identified as such. When given the opportunity, this man served in the old United States of America and was a judge, and infected and inflicted this type of poisonous treason and totalitarian rule over people innocent of any nonviolent victimless criminal charges, like dads who can't pay their child support. If a guy could pay child support and stay out of jail, believe you me, he would. There was a couple DUIs, no mention of anybody getting hurt. but everybody just deferring to Judge Johnson. Johnson, you have the power in there. I can't say these things to you in there because you'll throw me in jail. You won't, of course. You don't have the guts or the courage or the physical stamina to make that happen, so you pay other men to do it. And you know what that's called? That's called a coward. Because you don't have that kind of power anywhere other than that building. If you try to do what you do in that building to men outside of that building, we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. It's not going to go well for you. So you can only do it in that building. And the money that pays them is from extortion that you commit. How are you not a legalized mafia boss just over this geographical, physical location with arbitrarily drawn lines? That is your definition of jurisdiction, isn't it? And you won't answer when someone asks if they are allowed to challenge jurisdiction. You committed legalized crimes today in that courtroom. And from someone who's been doing this for 10 years and dozens of judges and heard hundreds of cases, this is me quite saying something. That was one of the finest examples of traitorous, treasonous behavior I have ever personally witnessed. And it's my opinion that the authors inspired to create this country would say that you're part of the problem that they tried to help us all avoid in the future. And they would suggest that you get the proper penalty, the punishment, a public one, for treason and traitorous behavior. You swear an oath to a document that you spit on. I'm asking for the right to the assistance of counsel, and you keep saying you're either going to fill out this form claiming you're indigent, which is just a nice word to say, poor, or you're going to answer my questions yes or no. This moron said you'll answer yes or no, or I'll throw you in jail, and then proceeded to tell me I had the right to remain silent. So I teased him with it from then on out when he tried to force me to say yes or no from then on out by saying, earlier you said I had a right to remain silent. Can I remain silent and not go to jail? See, because Johnson, when I'm saying all the words that would indicate that I'm afraid of you in jail, I don't actually mean them. I'm only putting on the record what is optimal for me to get on the record to most efficiently expose the exact heinous extent and nature of your legalized crimes and abuses of power. What I had to listen to of what you did for 2 hours to people, it's so blatantly, obviously just a hustle. You have a script. I mean, shoot, it's like selling cars. You have step 1, step 2, step 3. You're just going through the motions. And you pretend like, oh yeah, this is justice. And oh yeah, you guys messed up. So oh yeah, you got to pay this fine. And Murphy, just arbitrarily, this prosecutor with the power, this little 5'6" little puke of a kid. It just looks like some 20-year-old puke of a kid. All this power, right? Just arbitrarily cutting deals left and right. And every time the person's already been in prison for a couple months, he's like making deals that would just keep him in for another 30 days. He'd just give him another 30 days to think about it. Except a woman. A woman, the deal he offered was she gets to go out the next day. She didn't have to get another 30 days. It's just so blatantly arbitrary. And all of these people suffer under it and aren't even aware that there is an option to not have to do so. Johnson, there are those of us who see you for exactly what you are. You don't have logic, reason, ethics. You don't have legal legitimacy. You have a temper tantrum, psychological insecurity, deception, manipulation, out and out supporting lies. You're not denying that Sam Cork was involuntarily recused for corruption. I said that twice. You didn't deny or have any comment for it. You didn't argue that with that statement at all. And you do exactly what he did, knowingly. You ignore entirely the motion I filed 2 days ago. No mention of the $2,500 I asked for. And it's just, I just want you to know, that was your worst. It was obviously you guys going, we're just going to double down, push all in here, and just threaten him. And if he gets too crazy, we are going to throw him in jail. We don't want to. That's not ideal for our record, but we will. So we're going to double down and just steamroll him through it. Okay. But Johnson, that doesn't cause the emotional anxiety or distress to me that it does to everybody else. When I'm... Man, I so had to try to hide my facial expressions. I even said one time I'm trying to be totally neutral in my expression so I don't go to jail. I actually said that. Like when I'm smiling and just staring at the ceiling and going, wow, I'm hearing an American judge say that too. That is sincere. I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, oh, I'm nervous, oh, I'm anxious, oh. You don't understand. I've been doing this long enough to be 100% perfectly comfortable and confident in that environment. You don't scare me. All of your power and bravado isn't shit. In the real world, it ain't nothing. You aren't nothing in the real world. You live in this nice house in a nice neighborhood that's too big for you, probably an empty nester, and you just go about your little semi-retired existence being this judge, committing all this extortion and misdemeanor courts because you're not trusted with the power and authority of more serious courts, obviously, or you'd be there. And oh yeah, I'm a judge. Oh yeah, that's what I do. You don't scare me. So you're going to keep trying. You guys can try to steamroll to this, but this is what's going to end up happening if you do. We are going to go to a jury. And you're going to be the first court that actually had the balls to put Joe Pierce in front of a jury. And you scheduled it for 3 days. And I know what you're going to try to do. You're going to try to silence everything I say in my defense in front of that jury. You're going to not let me say a damn thing in my own defense that's perfectly legitimate in front of that jury, just so you can control the narrative. But see, I have a YouTube channel, and I can just stand outside. I can just make people aware of you, of the channel, of what's going on. So there it is. I mean, I can tell, Johnson, I think I'm making this video because I can tell you think that this is going to work, that I'm going to be nervous and, oh, I'm intimidated. Oh, my God, 120 days. And, oh, I'm so dejected because, oh, he gets to flex all this bully power over me. And I can't even, like, I'm allowed to even say anything. Oh, I'm so dejected. It doesn't work. I can tell he thinks it works. I'm trying to tell you it doesn't work. So, okay, I'm going to be sending off all kinds of things and making content to put a spotlight on it. And I am going to make sure that the public and public pressure comes to bear for every single fucking word you said in that courtroom today. If what you said in that courtroom today was exposed to the public, like, hey, listen to this and tell us your opinion, they would all be like, fuck that judge, fuck that guy, that is not America, that cannot be allowed here. People have to be allowed to speak. They can't be threatened with prison into silence and then stating on the record that he just complied and agreed to something that he clearly did not, and everything he's saying about being under duress, coercion is completely ignored. Fuck that traitor. That's what they'd say. And you know it. You know that's true. That's why you won't allow recording of mine in there. And you tell me you won't record yourself. I said, I've just bought 3 audio recordings from Sandcork's court. Why can't we record here? Oh, well, we're not recording audio here. I'm not doing it. You guys weren't there. This judge is a little different. He would say his completely un-American, law-breaking bullshit. Like, there is no transparency or accountability here. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do to you, and this is just going to happen. You're just going to take it. I'm going to dominate here. I'm going to bend you over. And nobody's going to ever hear it or know about it. Sorry. I just have that moment like... Sometimes I just have moments. It's so funny to me. I'm just like, God, this is really happening. This is really happening. Like, every word of it's going to come out. I just have a great memory. I can memorize every single word and post it. And what are you going to do? Say that's not what you said? Do you know how many judges I've been in front of that thought exactly how you're thinking right now? Fuck that guy. We're the boss here. I'm just going to threaten with contempt and shove our way through. And that Sandcork, he was just too nice. He let him make fun of the courtroom and mock it and everything. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to bully him more and steamroll him through. Yeah, this is going to work. Fuck that guy. We rule here. He's going to learn just like the rest. That's what he's thinking. Have any idea how many have thought that as well? Let me give you an idea. Somebody in the prosecutor's office is leaving the prosecutor's office and going to work for the prosecutor's office on the big island of Hawaii. They're moving there. I overheard this conversation. Please tell that prosecutor when he does go there to call Hilo and say, hey, what do you guys know about Joe Pierce? Was he ever in this courthouse? Tell me about him. I'm just going to leave it at that. Because what they tell you is this just isn't going to go away. So I'm going to write a bunch of documents and send them off to a bunch of agencies and post a bunch of content because it's a long time between now and a jury trial in February. And you messed up and gave me a pre-trial conference in between today and the trial, attempted trial. So things are going to happen and be said there. And Judge Johnson, I'm just going to end this with this. I really, just like anybody else, don't want to go to that hellhole of a jail that I've already been in. Everybody knows what kind of treatment I've gotten by looking at the record on CaseNet. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it for the following reason, Judge Johnson. I believe that you are scared and you are bluffing. I don't think you guys are going to throw me in jail because I want to make an audio-only recording of my public hearing in a place especially where Judge Elvis just made international headlines and Judge Sandcork just got involuntarily recused for corruption. I'll say it again. And if you do, then I guess I'll do the time in jail. I guess I'll be one of those guys showing up, being in jail a couple of months. Maybe Murphy will be right and I'll be in 120 days. For recording audio, I want to see the criminal charge. For he didn't obey a court rule. Well, what did he specifically do? He recorded the audio of his own hearing and risked jail to do so. He knowingly risked jail to do so. Well, why would somebody risk jail to make an audio recording and the judges don't want it recorded so bad that they say no recordings get made at all, not even from us? And he's not allowed to either. Everyone knows it's obviously because they're doing stuff they don't want exposed to the public because they're getting away with it. They're abusing their power. They're committing treason. And I don't even care about the Constitution or treason or being a traitor. It's just their document and their oath. And it is a popular notion among the people. I will do time, months of time, in a Missouri jail for recording audio of my own, nobody else's, my own public hearings and posting them. I will. So I'm saying, you're bluffing, I call. It's going to be time to turn over the cards. And we're going to see if you were bluffing or not, by whether or not you come to my house and arrest me or arrest me at a hearing. What you did is going to get out. And if I have to go to jail for months, so be it. So be it. You know what that will give me? A lot of spotlight. A lot of time for a lot of people who care. a lot of time to play chess, read books, and teach others in jail. I came to accept the fact that I was going to jail for a year last July when they had a attempted bench trial against me with Sandcork, who, just like you, will only allow his agenda items to be spoken of and no others. Nothing from me is allowed to be introduced as new to any court hearing of his or yours, obviously. When the people hear this and they realize, like, oh my God, why is this judge automatically getting aggro and threatening him from someone who made no rude words whatsoever? And he's saying he has exculpatory evidence that proves his innocence. Why isn't the judge letting him talk about that? And he's saying, what are we even doing here? This charge shouldn't even be filed. And the judge is immediately silencing him with threatening with jail. This guy keeps answering. He doesn't dare answer because of this threat of jail. And he keeps saying that any answers he does give or are written down on the record in this hearing, he does not consent to or agree with whatsoever because he's under duress. Boy, Murphy really didn't like it when I said that one. I heard him audibly sigh after the judge just continued and pushed through that, regardless of that very valid objection. Murphy must have been thinking, God damn it, this judge too abusive. You've got to be softer. Get this better finesse on the record. But Johnson's little pathetic, emotional incontinence got involved. And he gets a little angry and his ego gets inflamed. Well, this guy isn't going to talk to me. I'm the alpha in this room. Not one more word. With me and my fat, soggy old ass who can't do shit. You probably can't even do one push-up, bro. And all these men with guns who don't want to be there and don't agree with you. Look, I know when bailiffs are against me. None of these bailiffs are against me. None of these bailiffs are transmitting to me any nonverbal communication whatsoever that they are trying to intimidate me. And look, I just know. I'm a subject matter expert in this. They don't support you. They didn't even have anything to come back to me when I said, nice oath and nice constitution, gentlemen. Well done. Just in complete and total and utter disgust. And yet, also, I don't expect them to quit. Oh, screw the pension. I don't need that. But, again, if they would just try and steer other people from entering the career field, that would be helpful. And for the right reasons, like the truth of it. Because you'll be finding yourself having to physically defend with force, including guns on our hips, old, decrepit, lying men who are working to legally extort profit over nonviolent victimless criminal charges. And anybody who challenges them or their rule in any way, shape, or form, anything about America or Bill of Rights, just goes right out the window. It might as well be China. They just don't admit it. There is only one political party. We have absolute control because we have the force of power over you here in this area. That is our jurisdiction. Do you have a problem with it? At least that's honest. These people, of course, don't. These hypocrites will say you're presumed innocent, but we're going to impose upon you anyway. And you ask by what written mechanism this is switched, giving you jurisdiction over me to impose. You say, have a nice day. And we're not allowed to ask that question. That is how a bully teaches a bitch to give him his lunch money at recess and stop saying, hey, you're stealing my money. No, I'm not. You're voluntarily giving it to me. Have a nice day. That's saying there are 5 lights when there are actually 4. You cannot allow another man to treat you in this way and look at yourself in the mirror with a straight face, let alone any self-respect. He's basically saying, I rule and control here. I got rid of all these other cases, so there's not very many members of the public here. We've got 5 bailiffs for one of you. a handful of prosecutors, and I'm going to close the doors, detain you. I'm telling you, you're detained during this hearing. You cannot leave. And I'm going to go through my agenda, and you're going to give an answer, yes or no. This is simple. I go, what if the truth is neither yes or no? It can't be. It has to be. I go, what if the truth is I don't know? Can I answer and not be in jail? I mean, it just went on and on. I'm just clarifying and getting him to admit his threats of violence over and over and over again. And normally, when I do this, judges pull back because they know. They're like, whoa, I can't be caught saying that brazenly. And so they don't. They pull back. But see, I learned very quickly this asshole is doubling down. That's their play here. Okay, that's fine. I'm ready for this. And they're just going to try and steamroll even harder. Okay, cool. Well, let me get you to open up your egoic, whiny mouth and exactly articulate the nature of your threats of violence against me and the reasons for them and why and when they happen. Please do so. And he obliged because you're an idiot, Johnson. You are a pathetic idiot. If you weren't an idiot, you would have a job at a more serious court with more authority and more responsibility. Your own career field thinks you're an idiot at the age of 60, whatever you are, only fit for misdemeanors. Minor traffic, child support, animal abuse from people who defend their life and limb from a neighbor's attack dog in their front yard. You don't scare me. You're nothing to me. You're nothing to society. Any 16-year-old who works at McDonald's has more worth and value to humanity than you. He gets paid with voluntary money. You steal it. You extort it. So you can not care and sit up there on your throne and have your job and continue, and I'm just one nobody defendant you came across once in your long career. That's fine. Go about your nice house and your whatever. But this is the truth of the matter. Be a Billy Badass in the courtroom with me during the hearings, but that's the only time you can be. That's it. And if you throw me in jail, I'm going to be fine with it. I'm fully prepared for it, and I'm going to keep working from inside. What if I just, I don't know, convince a bunch of people there and turn this entire courthouse into a snow globe of challenges to jurisdiction? Create a snow globe worth dozens of motions hearings. Or you could just keep me in solitary confinement. I've thought of every parameter. I'm not going to go down every rabbit hole I have, but I have. I will go to jail for this. You will not get away with this. So you want to play hardball? I'm like, okay, I can too. I think you're bluffing. If you're not and you have aces, I'll do the time. I'll do the time. And I'll get out and I'll have a story. And I'll be motivated in ways I'm not right now. Because the only difference between me winning a little bit and me winning a lot is my current level of motivation. That's all. And the more heinous your abuses get, the more that naturally climbs through the ceiling. I'm content with my life going in whatever direction you dictate. I don't have control over that. I'm not leaving the state. I'm not running. So I'm just telling. I wish I could tell you that to your face. I would, but I can't in the court. Obviously, unfair advantage you got there. You pay for it. Jesus. But any other place I would politely tell you this to your face. Like, okay, try to detain me right now. Do your best. Hey, look, I'm going to walk 3 feet to the right. Pick a door. I'm going to go walk out of it right now. Choose. Hey, try to detain me, Judge Johnson, Judgy. You can't do it. You're not going to be able to do it. Oh, you be quiet. I'm going to talk. You won't be able to talk. I will talk right over you. You're not going to dominate any conversation whatsoever. Any other place other than that building. So you just feel good about that. That you only get to be Billy Badass, oh, I'm a man. I'm Alpha Dog. In that building where everybody is paid by people who fucking hate them. Hate the taxes, think it's all ridiculous, think you're not even doing anything good in their interests with it, think you're all corrupt and crooked. Everybody who's not employed by you or somehow paid by the state believes this because it's true. You are crooked and abusive. You don't respect anything about the documents you claim to swear an oath to. You're massive hypocrites and just bullies, just legalized mafia members. They may think, well, Joe, you're just ranting all this on a live stream because you just feel bad. This doesn't make you feel better. Maybe some, I don't know. But I'm just telling you, and the only way I'm allowed to, with hearings coming up in front of you. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you try your worst or if you desperately want me to go to jail. I don't care. You're a garbage piece of shit human being. And when all this is over, I hope I randomly see you in a grocery store so I can smile at you and tell you that and then say, have a nice day, sir. Because you are. It's pathetic. Times, as we've seen the last 5 to 7 to 8 years, are a-changing. And by golly, there's a non-zero chance that they might just change further in the next 5 to 7 to 8 years. If I'm a judge, man, I am just, hoping this government lasts.